Now, as far as Iranian parliament is concerned, viewers, it has reportedly cleared the proposal to impose toll tax on ships wanting to cross the Strait of Hormuz, monetarily trying to benefit, as the Strait of Hormuz has now been turned into a weapon by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The affiliated news agency seems to be suggesting that a parliamentary committee in Iran has approved plans to impose tolls on traffic at the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran has cleared rial-based toll system, and in this move, Iran is clearly signaling its assertion of control over the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is trying to position itself as the effective gatekeeper of the world's most critical oil transit route, the Strait of Hormuz. Let's get back to Rishabh on this. So, Rishabh, monetarily trying to benefit, to actually aid to the war as well, Iran seems to be making this move to impose toll tax.
Well, see, Iran has realized one thing, that Strait of Hormuz is the flex that it can enjoy for long. And till it controls Strait of Hormuz, one thing is very clear, that it will choke the supply lines of fuel worldwide. And that would create pressure on, as of now, US and Israel for sure, but in future also, if any danger comes Iran's way, Tehran can choke Strait of Hormuz and further, negotiate on their own terms. And that is something that Iran has realized over years and now has implemented to check it, and it has worked in their favor. And that's the reason now that Iran is like, why not? Let's commercialize it, is something that Tehran's view is. How will they do it? If Egypt can do that with Suez Canal, if they can nationalize it and take the money for crossing, why not do this? If Panama Canal can be done in the similar way, Tehran's logic is very clear, that if Suez Canal and Panama Canal can be monetized, why not Strait of Hormuz, and why has this to be free? Now remains to be seen how the other countries, because remember, this is not just a state which impacts Iran or Saudi Arabia, Bahrain,
Yes.
Kuwait, for that matter, Qatar, UAE, all of them are impacted. And at the
So will it impact as far as Indian ships that are also stranded in the Persian Gulf, Rishabh? Many of them, through diplomatic channels and direct talks with Iran, we've seen several tankers who have safely made their way to the Indian shores. What about the remaining Indian tankers that still remain stranded? Now, as far as this toll that seems to have been cleared by the Iranian parliament, will India in a way also be affected?
Well, definitely. See, there are about 20, if not less, Indian ships, Indian flagged ships, for that matter, that are stranded in Strait of Hormuz or beyond Strait of Hormuz in Persian Gulf. And one by one, they are coming out. Remember, there was a tweet that came in from the foreign minister of Iran, where among the 5 countries, India was also named, that these are the friendly countries, these are the brotherly countries, and we will allow these ships to pass on. We have seen at least 4 of the ships coming out.
Yes.
The India flag ships I'm talking about. And furthermore, we expect that in next 15 days, things...
So weaponizing and now monetizing the Strait of Hormuz is something what Iran now seems to be doing. Rishabh, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast, because we were just going to talk about and explain the very importance of this very narrow route, which is called the Strait of Hormuz. There you can see, as far as Iran is concerned, and this narrow passageway is the Strait of Hormuz. The Persian Gulf, we're looking at multiple countries with their oil tankers and ships having been stranded, and they are unable to cross the strait, which Iran has been exuding its dominance. So what Iran has been doing, if the countries are not an enemy country, a friend of Iran, and through direct channel talks, it has allowed the tankers to pass. But if the countries of US and the allies of the US, which Iran considers to be its enemy, there has been no clear passage that has been given. Several tankers that have been hit and have been set ablaze as well. So here there were earlier reports that a certain kind of paisa vasuli is being done on part of Iran for the clearance, and the amount that runs into crores of rupees for the clearance of even one ship. Now, this is located, as far as its location is concerned, it is crucial, because otherwise it adds and multiple levels when it comes to the money and the time that is taken for certain alternative routes so that the ships can use to reach their final destination. But this is the only waterway in or out of the Persian Gulf, and this seems to be the pathway for nearly 20% of the global oil trade, which Iran now seems to have weaponized it. 20% of the global energy that also passes through it, and it is the only maritime route for the Gulf states. 70 to 80% of the oil and LNG that goes here to Asia. So this is now what we are looking at as far as the impact are concerned. What happens to the remainder of the Indian oil tankers as well? Will they have to now pay a toll tax? According to the Iranian parliament, which seems to have cleared this very proposal, remains to be seen. For now, the government maintains that we are relatively in a very stable situation. We're going to head into a very short break. You're watching Times Now.